Welcome to episode 6 of When It All Came Together, a series looking back on the days when perseverance finally paid off for a driver at NASCAR's highest level. Today we'll be looking back at Regan Smith's race in the 2011 Southern 500 from Darlington Raceway, bringing the series to that season for the third time. Hailing from Cato, New York, and born into a racing family, Regan Smith would find success at a young age competing in go-karts and microds around New York. After moving to North Carolina, he would begin racing in the World Karting Association at the age of 12, going on to win their Grand National Championship in 1996, the Manufacturers' Cup in 1997, and the Canadian Grand National Karting Championship in 1998. In 1999, at the age of 15, he would claim both the Series Championship and Rookie of the Year honors in the Allison Legacy Series. He would make his first USAR Hooters Pro Cup start at USA International Speedway in late November. Moving on to Pro Cup full-time for the 2000 season, he would earn 5 top 10 finishes and claim his first top 5 at Myrtle Beach. Returning to the series in 2001, he would earn 3 top 5s and 7 top 10s, managing to finish 7th in the overall standings despite only running 17 out of the 29 events. In 2002, after turning 18, he would get the opportunity to make his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut, driving for Mike Mittler, and his Busch Grand National Series debut for Ed Whitaker. He would gain experience making sporadic starts in both series over the next 4 seasons. Proving himself among these ranks, he would land his first full-time opportunity in 2006 with Renzi Motorsports, later earning his first top 10 finish in the series at Charlotte Motor Speedway Memorial Day weekend. For 2007, he would sign on with Ginn Racing to run a part-time schedule, splitting the number 01 ride with veteran Mark Martin. Initially scheduled to run 16 events, the emergence of financial troubles within the organization and an eventual merger with Dale Earnhardt Incorporated would limit him to 7 starts by season's end. He would land a full-time ride within the newly reorganized DEI for the 2008 season, returning to the 01 car. He would nearly take home the checkers at Talladega Superspeedway in October, crossing the line first but having the win stripped and awarded to Tony Stewart in controversial fashion after being penalized for going below the yellow line. He would find himself without a ride once again at season's end after DEI merged with Chip Ganassi Racing. Furniture Row Motorsports would come through in January of 2009, signing him on for a part-time schedule. He would run well enough to earn a full-time ride with the team for the 2010 season, signing a 2-year extension later that year. By the time teams pulled into Darlington Raceway in May of 2011, he had made 104 starts in the series, having earned his first career top 10 finish in the season-opening Daytona 500. He would line up in 23rd after averaging 177.871 miles per hour in qualifying.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
He would gain 1 spot, making his way up to 22nd before Mike Skinner would spin entering turn 3 on lap 6, bringing out the first caution. Staying out under the yellow, he would retain the 22nd position for the lap 10 restart. Making his way up to 20th before J.J. Yaley's engine failure would leave oil on the track, slowing the event for the second time on lap 35. This would function as the competition caution, which was initially planned for lap 40 after rain washed out the previous day's practice session. Pitting with the leaders, he would lose a few spots on the stop, lining up in 23rd for the lap 42 restart, dropping as low as 31st on this run before climbing back forward.
Look at Matt Kenseth in the 17. He's in trouble. Regan Smith just worked past him. Here's a whole pack of cars that Kenseth was holding up.
He would reach the 28th position before David Gilliland would find the wall in turn 2, bringing out the third caution on lap 74. Pitting with the leaders, he would line back up in 26th for the lap 79 restart. Jimmy Johnson would spin entering turn 1 after some help from Juan Pablo Montoya, causing the yellow flag to wave for the 4th time. Smith would take advantage of the situation to come into the pits, coming off in 26th for the lap 89 restart. This is where he would remain over the next run until debris on the front stretch would bring out the 5th caution on lap 124. Pitting once again, he would line up in 25th when the action resumed on lap 128, briefly dropping back to 26th before moving back forward.
Regan Smith, 24th. Started 23rd, had an uncharacteristic for this season. Tough day in qualifying yesterday.
He would have a near miss with Paul Menard exiting turn 4 on lap 148, making his way up to 23rd before green flag pit stops would begin on lap 176. He would be one of the first cars to come in. He would cycle out to 20th when the sequence completed, having benefited from the short pit. Continuing to move forward, he would make it up to 18th before Jimmy Johnson's spin exiting turn 4 on lap 221 would slow the event for the 6th time. After pitting with the leaders, Smith would line up in 17th for the lap 226 restart. He would manage to pick up one spot before David Regan and Brian Vickers would tangle on the backstretch on lap 230, bringing out the 7th caution. Retaining the 16th position for the lap 226 restart, Smith would endure another near miss on lap 239, narrowly avoiding an incident between Marcos Ambrose and Joey Logano exiting turn 4.
Hamlin's view.
Keep going, no caution, keep going.
I think that's about the third one that Regan Smith has shot right away from and missed.
Pitting with the leaders this time, he would line back up in 15th for the lap 244 restart.
Regan Smith chasing Boyer. He's had a good night. Worst qualifying effort of the year. He started 23rd, but he's hung around the top 15, missed a couple of wrecks, and now battles Boyer for a spot in the top dozen.
He would climb his way up to 11th by the time Tony Stewart kicked off another green flag pit cycle with 90 laps to go. Almost simultaneously, Mark Martin would make contact with the turn 4 wall. Debris from his wounded car would put the race back under yellow for the 9th time on lap 279. After pitting with the leaders, Smith would restart from inside the top 10 for the first time of the evening on lap 285. Kyle Busch would push him back to 11th a few laps later.
And I think that's the Kyle Busch. Whoa, did he just hit the wall?
I think he did.
He just scraped the wall off turn 4 there.
And then got into Regan Smith just then.
I think he was doing a little block and he lost his momentum. He didn't want Regan to get by him. But
Jamie McMurray would kick off the next round of green flag pit stops on lap 319. Making his own stop on lap 326, Smith would cycle out to 6th place after the round completed.
Regan Smith pits out of 11th place, and that leaves just the top 10 of the lead lap cars still on the racetrack, Matt.
And a solid run tonight by Regan Smith, really trying to put the whole package together. Had a great run at Daytona. He's had a roller coaster ride since then. Air pressure change on the 78.
Oil on the track from Jeff Burton's car would bring out the 10th caution on lap 357. Smith would stay out as the leaders came to pit road, inheriting the race lead for the restart with 5 laps to go.
And the gamblers are Regan Smith, Brad Keselowski, Tony Stewart. They stay on the racetrack. All the rest of the lead lap cars pit. Regan Smith has had a great season of qualifying. He has the best qualifying average of any driver, but the Syracuse native has had trouble getting top finishes. He was in 6th place when the caution came out. And there's smoke surrounding Jeff Burton's car. But Smith decided to gamble, so did Keselowski and Stewart. No, Chris, we have 7 laps to go. And Brad Keselowski behind Regan Smith with tires that are 5 laps fresher than Smith's. Smith pitted lap 326, Keselowski 331, Stewart 339. Let's hear from Regan Smith on the decision to stay out.
How many laps on these tires?
30, only 30. Stay out, Regan. Stay out.
Yeah. Well, I got my list.
Yeah, 10-4. Keep your tires clean, but keep them clean.
That's the key right there. Keep the tires cleaned up.
Getting ready for the restart. The problem for Smith, Keselowski, and Stewart, the cars that did not stop, is that Carl Edwards is the first car on fresh tires, and he is right there in row 2 as we get ready for the restart. And behind him, Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, all with fresh tires. Here they come for the green with 5 laps to go.
Regan spun the tires a little bit, but he's going to get away with it because Keselowski's not going at all.
Keselowski in the 2 somewhat held Carl Edwards up in the 99 there on the outside, but Edwards is going to make a run for third.
Here he comes. He's got a good run down the back. There should be a lot of contact as we head down this back straightaway.
Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch would tangle as the field made its way back around, bringing out the 11th and final caution of the event and setting the stage for a green-white checkered restart.
I was pretty impressed with the way that the 78 car Regan Smith, I'm pretty impressed with the way he took off there and was able to hold that lead before all that happened behind him.
He didn't want to see that caution.
Oh, no, I think he was in pretty good shape.
Because he knows that puts Carl Edwards in that 99 with 2 fresh right side tires on the outside on this restart.
20 cars on the lead lap. Regan Smith looking for his first Sprint Cup victory. Carl Edwards trying to deny him from the outside of the front row. Then Keselowski, Stewart, Kane, and Hamlin. Green flag, 2 to go.
Boy, I tell you, that 2 car gets up in there. That's going to mess with Carl a little bit. But Carl should be able to get the steam up the outside.
Regan Smith in that 78 gets a good run through 1 and 2. Actually pulls away from Carl Edwards down the backstretch.
Stewart loses a bit of ground and loses 2 spots. It is Smith into turn 3. Edwards has the grip, and here he comes to the white flag. Regan Smith 1 lap away. Paul Menard blowing up in the back of the pack. White flag.
Can he do it? Can he hold him off? No matter what, we've got a race now. They'll race it back if we don't get a caution.
Boy, Regan got off to the turn 2.
Oh, he hits the wall.
He's all right. He's okay. He got off there great.
But Edwards didn't jump inside.
They're all wrecking behind him, but it's okay. Can he hold him off? 1 more corner.
Here we come to the flag. Regan Smith looking for his first Sprint Cup win. Edwards, 2 car lengths back. Smith gets the flag, and this time he'll get to keep it.
How about that?
I love you guys, man. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. Yes.
Crossing the line just 0.2 of a second ahead of Carl Edwards, Smith would claim his first career victory.
One of the wildest wins in Sprint Cup history and one of the wildest finishes. Regan Smith becomes the 45th driver to win a Sprint Cup race at Darlington. The 6th first-time race winner here. The last to do it was Lake Speed in 1988. Cato, New York, former Rookie of the Year, is in victory lane at Yoga.
Legendary names who have won this Crown Jewel event. Now you can add your name to the Johnny Mans Trophy. Can you describe what this means for you, Regan?
No, I really can't. It's first and foremost, all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day. My mom comes to every race that I run just about, and she missed this one. Sorry. She's in Talladega, or in Tuscaloosa, Alabama with some animals and saving animals after the tornadoes on there. So, Mom, hi, I love you. Sorry you missed this, but gotta thank the fans, for all the fans for coming out. Furniture Row, these guys have stuck behind me for 3 years now. We've had some major ups and major downs, and I think this would be classified as a major up for sure. The car was good all night. We just never had track position, and the opportunity showed up to stay out there, and Pete made a great pit call. I was going to be mad if he didn't say that, but I was going to do what he told me to do, and it worked out. We're in an all-star race. There's too much cool stuff going on right now. I had to get my composure out there. Actually, just right here I did, and we got a neat trophy now. Legends win this race. I'm not supposed to win this race. I have never even had a top 5. I guess that shows in this series, anybody can win on any given Sunday.
The boys from Colorado take a big one in Darlington.
He would go on to make 114 further starts in the Cup Series, earning an additional 3 top 5 and 12 top 10 finishes. His greatest success would come in the Nationwide, later Xfinity Series, earning 6 race victories and 3 top 5 points finishes between 2012 and 2016. Transitioning into a career on the television side of the sport with Fox Sports, he would wind down his racing career, making his final NASCAR start to date at Road America in August of 2019. Regan Smith was a talented driver behind the wheel who fought through numerous obstacles in his career. Despite this, he remained focused, and on one spring evening in 2011, he broke through and added his name to the list of drivers who have won at NASCAR's highest level.